I just want to get this straight. Make sure maybe I heard wrong. Okay, let me see. So Candiace Dillard Bassett is saying that Robin has a victim mentality. She's saying that Robin is screaming victim. This from Candiace Dillard Bassett, who has spent all season crying victim when literally nobody is doing anything to her. I know that ain't what I think I heard. That can't be right. Can't be. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Tammy. This is Tammy Talks. Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 8, Episode 15, Fool's Gold. As always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you have not and you enjoy the content. Thumbs up the video and then leave your comments down below. All right? So this episode picks right up where Gizelle, Robin, Ashley, Ineka, and Mia are talking about the fact that Candiace and Wendy were making faces at each other when Gizelle was talking about Grace going to college. So Wendy and Candiace come over right as Gizelle is like, no, F that. And then it becomes everybody on mute. Because we know that Gizelle clams up in the face of confrontation. Gizelle cannot handle confrontation, right? So I don't know why anybody is shocked. We have seen this woman get dragged to and fro and stumble over her words at reunions. So okay, so we can already X her out of the equation. So Robin is like, we can all talk about this later. Wendy said, no, we can talk about it now. So Robin Point brings up that, y'all were making faces while Gizelle was talking about her daughter. Wendy then says that she is not going to speak on Gizelle's children because Gizelle has weaponized her children against her, even going back to a couple years ago when Gizelle pointed out at the reunion that Wendy made a face at Grace as she walked by. We get a flashback to the clip. We all saw it. Wendy did make a face at Grace when she walked by. Whether she meant to do it or not, you did it, okay? So she said, so she is never going to speak on her kids, but you did though, Wendy. That's the thing. You did though. You offered up a statement that basically was very condescending, that all but called Gizelle a bad mother and said, I would never send my kids to Florida where they're killing black and brown people. That's what you did. I don't see how y'all don't see this stuff about Wendy. Like, Wendy lacks accountability. Wendy be caught in lies, dead ass caught in lies, and Wendy just doesn't make sense half the time. All them degrees, but she don't have the 5th degree in common sense, apparently. I guess, sis. So Karen then said that they both give each other funky faces at different times, which is facts. Which is 1,000% facts, right? Everybody has made a face at each other at some point in time. I think the issue, though, that Gizelle had with Karen is that Gizelle feels that because this is involving her children, she would have preferred Karen to not try to remain neutral. So Gizelle says in her confessional that Karen likes to hump the fence, and Gizelle said she would never let anybody disparage Raven. Now I know on Twitter people were saying, oh, but Raven didn't even like Gizelle. We had not. One, I don't believe that. I think that was something that Karen said just on the show, because this season, when Karen asked Raven to talk to Grace and Gizelle, and she quickly said, I know you don't like her, but that's okay. Like, Raven kind of looked confused. She kind of looked confused. So do I think that Raven had this huge beef with Gizelle? I don't. I think that's something that she said, because if it was that big of an issue, I think that there would have been more brought up about that and talked about. So Candiace then said that, well, I'm uncomfortable when Gizelle speaks. So anything that she says, I don't care. I don't want to hear about. Here's the thing, though, Candiace, and I said this last week. The fact that Candiace keeps saying, I don't want to be around her. I'm uncomfortable around her. I'm this around Gizelle. It's F Gizelle forever. You are making it so that production almost, if somebody has to go, if there is a recast, if there is a shakeup for this show, Candiace, you have been the one, even though, yes, Gizelle is not talking to her either. Gizelle isn't saying she's uncomfortable with Candiace. Gizelle isn't saying that she cannot be in a forum with her. Candiace is saying that she's uncomfortable when Gizelle speaks. That is stupid. I'm sorry, but that's stupid. Gizelle talking about her child going to college, why does that make you uncomfortable? This is victimhood right here. And I said all season, and I'll say it again. Candiace does not like the fact that she came into this season ready to read Gizelle down every chance she got. That's what she wanted. She probably had a list of reads ready, a list of insults ready, a list of things ready to body shame this woman about. And the fact that Gizelle is not talking to her, is not engaging with her, Candiace has not had the opportunity to do so. So she has to do it in her confessionals. She has to try to do it little sideways, conversations to get it done. I'm sorry, but this is stupid. She then said that she does want her kids to be good. I was with Ashley. So then why did you chuckle? Why did you make a face? Candiace said it had nothing to do with anyone's children. As I told y'all last week, I don't think Wendy and Candiace were laughing at Grace at all. I don't think they were making the faces at Grace. But if somebody is talking about their children and you choose to make those faces, that is how it's going to be perceived. Y'all swore that's the same thing I do to people. If you are somebody that has to make faces when somebody else that you don't like is talking, you're childish and you're petty. It's immature. I have been in spaces with people that I do not like, that I don't care for. I have literally no desire to make faces while that person is talking. I think that's weird that as adults, people think that's normal and okay to do. But different strokes for different folks. So Ashley is having some Havana dinner party, I guess, for her. It's like her belated birthday, whatever. I don't know. So Karen wants to know if Robin and Candiace can get back to the progression in their relationship, in their friendship. Candiace is silent, so Robin speaks up and said Candiace does not think she did anything wrong. And I think that's the root of it, to be honest. I think if Candiace would have just said, you know what, I'm sorry, and I'm sorry goes a long way with people. I don't think people realize that, but a simple I'm sorry goes way further than you trying to duck and dodge accountability and act as if you did nothing wrong. So Robin feels that Candiace slandered her and said that she participated in the plot with the whole situation with Chris and Gizelle. Robin did tell Gizelle, I think you're doing too much. Robin did tell Gizelle, I don't think that Chris did anything inappropriate to you. Robin did stand on that. The fact that Robin went to the reunion and said, can we all agree that a married man should not be in a hotel room is not flipping. I think that's facts. For all we know, she was sending a message to Juan's ass too. I personally just don't think that's flipping on somebody, right? So Robin said that that's defamation. Candiace says, get this, y'all. Candiace says, it is not defamation to speak on her feelings. Candiace, this is what gets me about Candiace. Candiace has been steadfast this entire season that she can say whatever she wants to about Robin because those are her feelings. Gizelle felt uncomfortable. Gizelle felt uncomfortable and Candiace lost her shit. It's the hypocrisy for me, okay? So Wendy chimes in and said it's not fair because we don't know how we would react if put into that situation. Again, like y'all like to say the line is always moving. It is, because Wendy and Candiace feel that their feelings trump everything else. So because Candiace's feelings are heard, she doesn't care about anybody else's feelings. Fuck the Gizelle part of it. If Robin is supposed to be your friend, for you to get on Twitter and call for your friend to be fired, for you to get on Twitter and say that your friend is a fraud and a phony, and for you to do all these interviews, like, what did you expect to happen, Candiace? That's what I don't understand about this. If we're looking at just the Candiace and Robin part, it is wild to me that Candiace, like, does not think she did anything wrong. It's the lack of emotional intelligence that is mind blowing. So Robin then said that she regrets ever standing up for Chris because it has come to this. So Ashley asked Candiace if she still believes that Robin played a part in this Gizelle whatever situation. Candiace now says she doesn't know what she believes anymore and said that Robin is playing victim. Robin says she's not interested in being victim. She's interested in holding her accountable. When Gizelle says later in the episode that Karen acts different in the group and Karen does not hold everybody accountable and Karen does not pick sides, it is stuff like this. It is stuff like this. Because if Karen was truly as neutral as she is, I think Candiace or Karen would have said, you have to admit that you going on a smear campaign against your friend does warrant an apology. But I think the fact that Candiace does not understand that or refuses to see that, I think that's an issue. I think that's an issue. But okay. So Gizelle and Karen are talking, and Gizelle wants to talk about why she declined the Surrey trip. So Gizelle says that when Karen is with Candiace and Wendy, she is a different person. She has a different vibe. Now, do I believe that? We're only going off of what we can see off of edited scenes, what production allows. But from what we can see, when Karen is in a group, when she is around Candiace and Wendy, it does seem more as if Karen wants to distance herself from Gizelle, from Robin, and tiptoe over to Wendy and Candiace because she knows that that is where the fan base is probably 60-40. Right? The fan base is very split. I don't think it's 50-50. It's more 60-40 of 60% of the fan base being on Candiace and Wendy's side, the other 40% being on Robin and Gizelle's side in this entire matter. So Gizelle said that she asked, when is Karen going to rise up and say children are off limits? Gizelle, no. No. You felt the way about her talking or making faces about your child. That's up to you. And I like that Karen said that this is up for you to be the mother you are, be the grown ass woman, the grown bad bitch that you claim to be. You should have checked them in instead of sitting there looking the other way. This is on you, Gizelle. If you felt the way, you should have said, I don't appreciate y'all making faces when I'm talking about my child. That's literally all you have to say. Either they'll come back and say, it wasn't about your child. Okay, cool. And then we squash it. Gizelle got to learn to talk. Use that mouth. I don't understand, but you can't expect Karen to fight your battles for you when you have already said that she acts different in front of this group of women. So what did you expect to happen? Gizelle does not think that Karen, or Gizelle doesn't know for sure if Karen talks shit about her when she is with Candiace and Wendy. Karen said that whatever I say to them, I'll say to your face. We then get a flashback of Karen dragging Gizelle. Gizelle shouldn't feel the way about that at the reunion because Gizelle's been talking about Karen too. So Gizelle was like, so are we not good? Karen said they are. And Gizelle tells Karen that when she is with Candiace and Wendy, she does not see the other side. She doesn't see the other perspective. Karen admits that that is true. For everybody that says that that's not true, Karen herself is admitting that that is true and said she would do so moving forward. They're still good, they're still cordial, they're cool, whatever the case, right? I think that Gizelle and Karen both acknowledge and realize they are the faces of the show. They are, which is why Gizelle is always first in the on the opening, and why Karen is always last. They are the anchors of the show. Karen just does more to move the show forward. Karen's purpose is to move the show forward. Karen is there to be the median, to be neutral. Gizelle is on the show to be the antagonist. They both play the roles that production wants them to. So they go to lunch, and it's a bunch of weird ass cats walking around their feet. I wouldn't like this shit either. I do not like cats. They're sneaky. They do too much stuff. Y'all cats be helping y'all cook dinner. I don't like them. Mia asked Karen about her trainer. The trainer is Vernon Davis. Used to play. He's an ex-football player, ex-professional football player. So they then asked if Vernon is single for Ashley. Ashley said, "Oh, I know Vernon," and they were like, "Oh." Ashley gets nervous and said that, nothing has transpired between the two of them. Said that they have just kind of flirted, on Instagram, nothing more, nothing less. Karen wants to work on her inner thighs. She wants to get her inner thigh strength up. And Gizelle is like, it sounds like Karen wants to drop the panties. Karen was like, "I don't talk like that, Gizelle. Those are your words." So then Karen decides to bring up Gizelle's conversation and how she feels that when Karen is around Candiace and Wendy, that her vibe kind of changes. Mia chimes in right away and said that when Karen is in a group, she is meaner. We get some flashbacks that where Karen does seem to have a little battery in her back when the other two ladies are around. Robin said that her perspective is different because she has zero expectations from Karen because they really don't rock like that. Karen has a hard on for Robin. Like, she's been like super, super snappy with her this season. It's kind of weird. Wendy then said that Karen is just holding them accountable, but Karen doesn't hold y'all accountable, Wendy. That's the issue. It's fine that Karen holds Robin and Gizelle and Ashley and Mia accountable, but she's not in turn holding you, Wendy, and you, Candiace, accountable as well. And I personally think that it is, again, like I said before, Karen wants to push away from being lumped in with the colorism of it all and all this other stuff that is being that Gizelle and Robin and Ashley are being accused of, and she wants to stay on the fan side. So that's why when there's a group scene, she's more so towards Candiace and Wendy. But I mean, you gotta hold, if you're gonna truly be neutral, you have to hold both sides accountable. Karen has already admitted that she doesn't. So Kiana said that the real issue is the underlying tone that is between Candiace and Gizelle. Candiace doesn't want to discuss it, so they move on from it. Wendy said that her and Gizelle used to be friends. They are not the friends that they used to be. Y'all are not friends at all. But I do think that Wendy and Gizelle have more promise to at least, they're cordial though. Like, we have seen them go back and forth where Gizelle has asked a question, Wendy has answered. Wendy has asked a question, Gizelle has answered. Gizelle will respond if Wendy says something. They don't greet each other, but they can be cordial in a situation. I honestly think if Candiace was not on this show, Wendy would be more willing to move forward with Gizelle. And I think Gizelle would be more willing to move forward with Wendy. I think their breakdown came when, truth be told, it was really Ashley that brought up all the shit about Wendy with the body and all that type of stuff. It was Ashley that brought it to Wendy. But I think after Wendy drugged Gizelle to and fro at that reunion, if they would have come back the next season and Wendy was like, let's have a sit down and talk, or production had them talk, as opposed to Wendy coming in and trying to talk to Gizelle and hug her like nothing happened, I think they could have moved forward and moved past it. I don't think, like, Candiace and Gizelle too far gone, but I don't think Wendy and Gizelle are too far gone to like mend this. I think they just have to sit down and have a conversation. Um so then we get Mia, Candiace, Karen, and Mia, Candiace, Wendy, and Karen go play tennis. They end up talking about Ashley's divorce. Mia says she used to put her foot on men's chests in the clubs. Ugh. So they start talking about Ashley's divorce. Mia said Ashley's a gold digger and that Ashley is scared of leaving. She feels that because Ashley did not realize that she didn't get anything in the prenup, that she went back to like kind of get a do-over. Candiace thinks that it is more about Ashley having this abandonment, because we know her father abandoned her, didn't want anything to do with her. Michael being older is kind of like a father figure, has kind of like raised her in a sense, and she thinks that that's why she's kind of holding on to this. Karen talks about when she got her divorce from her first marriage and how scary it is, but it matures you and it grows you up. Mia said that when she had her first divorce, she had a couple $100 and her baby, and they left. What happened to this inheritance? What happened to the inheritance? I thought you had an inheritance, Wendy. Not Wendy, I'm sorry. I thought you had an inheritance, Mia. Y'all know Mia just be saying whatever. Karen then said that if you are going to marry for money, you're going to be sad. I think that's what she said. I feel like I wrote that down wrong. Meanwhile, across the way, Gizelle, Ashley, Kiana, Robin, and Neka go skeet shooting. Robin asks Kiana if Wendy tried to tell her about anybody. She said no. The shade was obvious, but she never said, I do not like Gizelle. And that's why I said I do think that Wendy and Gizelle, if they are forced to have a sit down conversation because of production, they can move forward. A lot of the issues are because production is not making these women sit down and have a conversation. Wendy and Gizelle should not still be beefing. They should be on a point where they, not that they're going to be going out to lunch or whatever, but they should be past where they are and being like more than cordial with one another. The fact that Wendy said that we are not the type of friends we used to be, and Gizelle just said, no, we're not. Like, that shows that there could be something there. So she said that the only thing that she knew about was the issue with Nneka. Okay, so Kiana said that, telling Nneka that if the issue is cultural, the cultural thing, that if she is happy, Kiana, if she would be happy to move forward with somebody, she would apologize and move forward. And Nneka is like, well, did you tell Wendy the same thing? And I like that she said that, because that's a very valid question. You can't come into a situation where two people are offended, right? Both parties are offended. And only one person has said that they want to move forward. The other person, Wendy, is saying she wants to move forward when she really doesn't, because it's her storyline. But you can't just tell Nneka to apologize and be done with it. Wendy has to apologize as well. And yes, I get it. She called her mother a witch and all this other type of stuff, but Wendy has said shit about her too. It honestly has to be both people apologizing. You cannot expect to say whatever you want about a person in response to what they said and think that you don't have to apologize back to them. So it's clear that Wendy told Kiana, one half of the story, right? So when Ineka's like, I was offended too because Kiana is like, well, Wendy is the one that was offended. Ineka was offended as well. So Kiana is like, is there another issue? And she started getting a little gully with her. And I was like, oh, what is the? I didn't understand Kiana's energy because like it seemed to come out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like if you're talking about somebody's issue, you have to expect that person is gonna like interject. So Ineka's like, well, you tell me since you're stirring my pot. So they kind of go back and forth, and Ineka's like, it has nothing to do with you, which it doesn't, Kiana, because you don't have both sides of the story. So Kiana's like, I stirred it and I'm out of it now. I didn't understand this. I didn't understand this. And I know that some of y'all like really like Kiana, but she's not gonna get a flute for one because she fought at the end of the season. But like I thought this was weird the way that she went about it. So then Gizelle asks Ashley about Vernon again, and Ashley gets up and walks away. Ain't nothing going on with Ashley and Vernon Davis. We then see Ashley on FaceTime with her kids, and she mentions to Michael that she's filming. Michael cut that camera off so fast. Apparently, Michael said he don't want to be on Housewives, want to be on Bravo, don't want to be on, doesn't want to be on anything. Said if he so much as sees his face on that show, he's going to sue Ashley. I said, so you're going to be suing yourself because you pay her bills. Make it make sense. So then we finally get to dinner, the last dinner, and Candiace said that, when we were out playing tennis today, we talked about your divorce. And Wendy was none too ready but to say, yeah, Mia called you a gold digger. Everybody was like, oh. So Mia was like, yep, sure did. Mia said, I think you married Michael for his money. Ashley said, did you marry Gordon for his money? And Mia's like, maybe I did. Kiana was like, no, she said he was broke. Gizelle was like, we know that's a lie. Kiana was like, oh. See, like, while I do like Kiana, I think we should have seen more of her. Kiana clearly has no idea about anything. She just doesn't know about anything. So for her to come in and kind of interject the way that she has been trying to on this trip, it's not landing. It's not landing all the way because you don't know the full story of anything. Like you're going based off what Wendy probably just like told you in passing, right? So Mia thinks that Ashley should be honest with herself that she married for money. Robin then asked if Ashley gets alimony. She said no, she gets child support. In her confessional, Ashley admits that Robin contributes to her car. Michael, why is Michael paying your car payment? What are you driving? What is Ashley driving that she can't afford her own car payment? With what she's making on the Housewives, her TikTok money from, doing whatever she does over there, what are you driving that Michael has to pay your car payment? That's concerning, Ashley. She then admits that she has a credit card from Michael that she can use in case of emergency, but she doesn't feel comfortable using it. She then said they have a joint checking account that she uses for the kids and for grocery and for Uber Eats. So if he's not only paying child support, but you're using the joint account for stuff in the household. Let's be real, for shit in the household. I bet you if you need sheets, you're using it for sheets and towels and all this type of stuff. I'm willing to bet that she is still on a joint phone bill or phone account with Michael. What exactly do you need Michael to pay your car payment for? Or is the car in Michael's name and you're just driving it? Ashley better get her shit together. Get your life in order, sis. This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Robin then asks Karen why didn't she get a real trainer. Karen says she's in great shape at 60, and Robin is like, "But why didn't you get like a regular trainer?" Robin then says, "So are you healthy or do you have a heart problem?" Didn't you learn from when Gizelle said that shit about Mia and she was like, "Is this what cancer, no cancer looks like?" Robin, that shit was foul to say, and you know it. It was foul to say. The entire table got quiet. Gizelle laughed. Gizelle probably shouldn't have because you did the same shit to Mia and they checked your ass for that too. But it's like, is it just me or is Karen like always extra snippy with Robin? I feel like Robin can't say shit without Karen like rawr on her. But that was the episode. We are back next week and it looks like Sharice and Robin getting into it. Who's Sharice yelling at? Nonetheless, let me know what you guys thought about this episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, thumbs up the video. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.